Okay. When talking about the slope of a road, it is usually called the grade. Grade is commonly expressed as a percentage. The steeper the road, the higher its percentage grade. The following formula can be used to calculate grade. And it's identical to getting a test mark in school, okay? You take your score out of your total, and then just times by 100, okay? Super easy. And it's going to be on your formula sheet. Check your yellow formula sheet right now. There's a whole slope section, and I built this formula sheet for you, so it's beautiful. Okay, and you can see right at the bottom, grade is just a slope, which is just a fraction, rise over run, times 100. Okay, so there's no surprises. People new to the course today? Anybody new? There's supposed to be someone else other than Khalif. Mustafa, where is he? Yeah, Mustafa. How do you know that? He's not here? Doctor's appointment? Okay. All right, so taking a look. Okay, here we go. Percentage grade, super easy. Rise divided by run times 100. The only problem here is they are giving you the grade, okay? So where does this 7% grade go in the formula? On the left here, okay? And then, in order to solve for the slope, which is this, in order to solve for that, what's the opposite of times 100? Divide 100. That cancels it. What you do on the right, you do on the left. You see it right there. And lo and behold, there's your slope. Okay. What most people would do here, I think, especially coming out of a 10-3 class, any teacher that mentions percent would probably mention that per, what does per mean? Divide. And cent, like century, is 100. So 7 divided by 100. I think that's pretty straightforward. Okay. Use the tangent ratio to solve for the angle of elevation. This is a bit of a review. On your yellow formula sheet, it's right here. All right. So all you have to do is start your question right here with the formula sheet. Theta equals the inverse tangent of 7 over 100, and you will output 4 degrees. All right, now we can start with the build your skills. Heckman Pass is a very steep section of highway connecting A lake to B lake, and its steepest section rises 900 meters over a run of 5 kilometers. What is the percent grade of this situation? Can you make a small note? Units must be consistent. What does consistent mean? The same. What's your question, Jada? Do I have another calculator? Of course. Just take one of these junky ones. All right. So the 900 meters or the 5 kilometers, which one should we convert? 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So that means 5 kilometers, this one's super easy, it's 5,000, yeah, obviously. So the rise over the run is 900 meters over a run of 5 kilometers, which we will translate into 5,000 meters. The meters cancel. Slope is without units. So that's just a little note. Slope has no units. All you have to do is 900 divided by 5,000. So in your calculator, you would do that. you would get 0.18. And just like if this was your test mark, you would times by 100 to slide that decimal twice, and you would get 18%. So that's the grade. And in terms of your real life connection, very steep is a pretty small percentage, 18%. So even a very small percentage like 18% can result in a very steep section of road. So that the water will drain properly. And remember when I talked about the guys that built my garage and how the water would pool in certain corners of my garage, and then when the winter comes it freezes, and then I got to go out there at the end of my workday and go out there and chip ice because these guys don't understand slope and they're lazy. Okay, that's why you're all in here learning slope, so that you can make people's garages nice. Okay, especially those of you in the life of a construction man coming up. I know there's at least one of you in here. The trades life. Some of you in here, for sure. Got to make that money, right? Okay, so a patio is attached to a house, should slope downward, obviously, so that the water runs off, right? About 2.5 inches for every 10 feet of run. So issues, big time issues for those of you who don't like math. What are they? I hate fractions. Can you agree to that? Yeah. A lot of us, right? And what the heck? Why? Why did they give me 2 different units, right? Why do they try to mess with my brain? So you have to convert, definitely. Okay, 2.5 inches would be 2.5 inches. 10 feet would be 10 times 12. Why am I timesing by 12? Very good, because there's 12 inches in every foot. I'm not going to do the unit conversion longhand form. Most of you by this point in your life should know that one. 120 inches, 10 times 12. Now I can calculate the slope. 2.5 is the downward rise. 120 is the run. The units would cancel. And you can straight put this in your calculator as 2.5 divided by 120. I'm getting like 0.02083 repeater. Okay. So what percentage is this? Is it 20%? 2%? What is it? Remember, how many decimal moves for percent? 100 would be what? How many decimal moves? 1, 2. So what's the percent? 2%. Good. And if you want to round it up, that's fine. But like if you were going to put this on a sign for the road for people, I don't think you would put 2.1%. You'd probably just put 2%. Okay. So 2% grade. And that would go down here. All you have to do to get there is times 100. We cool on that? Okay, so make sure you know this formula sheet right at the bottom. Okay? And you can jot this down right on your formula sheet where it says grade equals slope times 100%. The slope is just your rise divided by the run, and then you times 100, and then you make sure your unit is percent, and that will be your grade. There's no issues, right? You just take the slope, which is the rise over run, and times 100. Easy breezy. All right, now we're off to number 8. Did you need that page still? Yeah, no worries, you guys. So, are we good? Okay, so one of the steepest railways in the world is the Lisbon tram in Portugal. In one section, it has a grade of 13.5%. Express this as a slope. Okay, so like my friend over here said, percent is literally out of 100. What do you do with this? Literally divide by 100. Okay, so 13.5 out of 100. This is your slope. There's nothing to it. You just put the percentage out of 100, that's your slope. Okay? And then you can use the ABC button, or you can just use your calculator and express it as a decimal. Okay? So in order to use this in your calculator, you would have to, of course, slide the decimal, and you'd have 135 out of 1,000. Okay? And I'll borrow this young man's ABC calculator. 135 fraction 1,000, and it ends up being 27 out of 200. Okay, and if you just want to have a normal decimal, that's fine as well, and it is 0.135, obviously, because if you were to slide the decimal up here, that would be the decimal that goes with this percent. You got to slide it to the left. Okay. Now, angle of elevation. Where do you find this formula on your sheet? That weird Pepsi symbol. What's that called again? Theta. Theta, theta, theta. And you use the second function of tan, and you put in your decimal version, or the fraction, whatever you want, of your slope. Remember, the slope goes here. And of course, it's the decimal, not the percent. Not the percent, but the decimal. Okay, so moving on. What is the rise for a run of 15? What is standing out at you right now? What strategy? When you're trying to search for one of the components of the rise over run. Think back to the quiz. Is that also ringing a bell? Say it again, Jada. Yeah, whenever you're trying to search for one of the components, you have to think cross multiplication. Solve for rise or run? Question mark. Think cross multiplication. Okay. So then I would jump to my formula sheet. Right? Everybody knows what it is. It's not the run over the rise, which some of you did on the test yesterday. It's the rise over the run, and the slope's on the other side. Slope on the other side is 0.135. What happens when it's a decimal? We put it over 1 equals rise over run. Rise is the unknown. The run is 15. And then you cross your heart, hope to die. What's that thing? Stick a needle in your eye? Yeah. So 15, where does the 15 go? 15 times is with 135. Dividing by 1 doesn't really matter. You solve for the rise. So 15 times 0.135. Do you like my laser pointer? Bailey, cheer up. You don't like anything. You probably like going home and doing nothing. Okay, 2.025 equals rise. All right. Next is pitch. Not like baseball. Okay. Pitch in the sense of slope. Okay. It's nothing new. It's just the common term that a tradesman might use or tradeswoman might use instead of slope. They might say the pitch is 5/8. or it's a 5 to 8 pitch. So all that means is if they write it like this, see that double dot? What's that double dot called? Just like in English, what would you call this? What was that, Mr. Matt? What do we call this? No. Starts with a C. Colon, yeah. Not like your butt. Your colon. You know what your colon is? This is a colon. What's the semicolon? With the comma? Okay, we're not doing that one. Just the colon. I think that's how you spell it. You get it? So if you see it written with a colon, there's nothing different about it. All they want is a different vocabulary, aka the pitch, and it's the exact same thing. The number in the front is the top, right? And the number in the bottom on the right is the bottom of the fraction, and it's just the rise over the run. There's nothing new to it, okay? So here's an example. How wide is the shed in the diagram below if the pitch of the left side is 3 to 4 and the pitch of the right side is 8 to 9? So if you flip the page, you'll see the solution. However, let's just keep that not flipped and let's try to do it ourselves. Okay, the pitch on the left side is 3 to 4. So which one's the rise and which one's the run? The rise is 3 and the run is 4. So 3 over 4 equals. Now on your left side, and remember you can only do right angled triangles. So you have to like focus in on this triangle here. That 3.2 and that H, 3.2 would go in the bottom or the top of the next ratio. Why does it go in the bottom? Because it's the run and because you guys are all geniuses. H goes there. You cross multiply. Josh, do you remember how to cross multiply? 3, Josh only, times is with, and then you divide out. Good, which solves for? Beautiful. Can someone give me that answer? 2.4, lovely. Okay, now on the right side, 8 to 9. So we have 8 to 9 equals H to L. So which one goes on top? H. Did we just solve for H over here? Yeah, this is H right here. So 2.4 is the rise. And the run would be, is that an L? I don't know what that is. Looks like an L. All right, Mr. Stobie, my young student. 2.4. You see it? What is it times with? Dividing out. Beautiful. Is L. L is 2.7, Jaden? Extra decimals? Just 2.7? Okay, you guys rock. Flip the page, double check. 2.4 and 2.7. What's this junk at the bottom about 5.9? So a lot of students, including myself, sometimes we just get right into it and we forget what the heck they're even asking. What are they asking? How wide is the shed? So we probably want to add 3.2 and L, right? We want to add those. 3.2 plus 2.7, obviously 5.9. And don't forget your unit, which in this case is meters. Good. You guys rock. So 20 minutes has gone by. Sometimes I can stand up here and talk forever, and students either like that or hate that. But I think I have to keep going. There's 3 more, and then you'll be free. Free of me. for a little bit anyway. Okay, number 9. I'm going to move a little bit faster. Just, I think some people are getting this and just want to get to work. So, the pitch of a roof of a lean-to that Diana is building is 2 to 5. So let's just jot that in as a fraction. Rise over run. If the lean-to touches the ground 4.8 meters away, how high up is the building? Does it reach? 4.8 goes in the bottom or the top? Bottom. Rise is, see this, Jaden? That's the rise. This right here. Okay, Josh, do you see that? That's the rise. Okay? And you do the pointer, 4.8 times 2 divided by 5, and you'll get this. All right, so moving along, unless someone wants to spit out that answer for me. 2.4, I think it's a little bit less than 2.4. Yeah, 1.9-ish. Question. 2.4 is half, so it can't be half. See how it's 2 out of 5? It can't be 2.4. 1.9, 2? Yeah. 2.4, hun, is exactly half, and that would be if it was 2 out of 4. So it can't be 2.4 up here. Just double check you typed in the wrong button. Sometimes that happens. You just type in the wrong button. Okay, next thing, pitch of an A-frame. Now, if you ever take a shop with Mr. Shaw, I'm sure that he would talk about something like this. They have standard slopes for building roofs. Okay, and what is the pitch of the roof of an A-frame building if its height is 3.6 and its width is 5.4? So if you do this, 3.6 divided by 5.4, then I unfortunately have to mark it wrong. Why? Okay, very good. This girl's obviously paying attention. She knows that this only works, this slope business only works for what type of triangles? Right. Okay, so you have to like section this off. So 5.4, what do we do with this? Cut it in half. That becomes, help me, 2.7. Now I can go ahead and make my changes. Okay, and I guarantee the test that I give you will have this on there with a non-right angled triangle. Okay, so rise over run, 3.6 over 2.7. I would just type this in and get 1.3 repeater. If it was like multiple choice and they're like, what's the ratio? Then just slide the decimal, 36 out of 27, and then put that into your fraction button. Even this crappy one does the fraction button pretty well, actually. The only thing it doesn't do well is the sine, cosine, tan. So 1 1/3 or 4/3. 4/3 and then 1 1/3 if you wanted it mixed. But I'm pretty sure it would be the improper, would be the proper way to do it. Now last one, and then you can be free to do some homework, and then we'll do the quiz after that. So the roof of a tool shed has a pitch of 2 to 5. So I would just jot that down. As soon as I see the pitch, I would just jot it down as a normal fraction. If the shed is 7 feet wide, what is the rise of the roof? I'm a little bit confused. There's no picture. Maybe I should draw a picture. I'm assuming the roof of a tool shed looks something like that. That's pretty terrible. Maybe I'll just use the triangle shape thing. There, let's use that. Okay, so we have this triangle thing. Okay, and the shed is 7 feet wide. Is that this? So do we have to cut it in half? So we got to cut it in half. Divide by 2, you got 3.5 feet. So that is my run. 3.5 feet is my run. It says, what is the rise of the roof? So that's call that h, the height of the roof. Height, the rise, goes in the numerator. The denominator would be 3.5. Cross multiply, make the fish symbol. 2 times 3.5 divided by 5. I got 1.4 is the height. What do you think? Life is good? Sure. So 1 and 2 should already have been accomplished in the homework from yesterday. That means you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not a lot. That is not a lot. 3 to 8, my young Padawan learners. 3 to 8. And then once that's complete, we shall do the quiz.